Hello everyone, this is Julian from Canon Coffee, and today we have a Nuova Simonelli Oscar 2, and this is the newer version of the Oscar. The older Oscar was more of a cube shape and looked a little older, and this one is taking a lot of design cues from the new Musicas from Simonelli, which is really great, looks really good. You could tell by just the panels and the angles that it really is pulling from a really nice designed machine. Besides that, this machine is a heat exchanger machine that was brought in by a customer. And the issues with the machine is that it was having issues with shooting water out of the machine. Actually, just pumping water to the group head took quite a while, especially on startup. And so when I opened the panels off, took all the panels out, and inspected the machine, we found an issue with one of the junctions. I do have photos of the machine here. As you can see, that is not good for a boiler. So this is your steam boiler on the side of it, on the left side actually. And this is one of the connections that go into the steam boiler. As you can see, very much leaking a bunch of scale in there. I have some more photos here. I'll probably put it on its side. So here's another one. And then this is what it looked like outside of the machine. There you go. And taking it out and inspecting it, it was really bad condition, full of scale, which is quite rare to see. And this is the little junction that goes on top. After that, we reinstalled this, so we took it completely out. You might see a little bit of clusters, but this is on the outside of the junction, so don't worry about that. The inside of the junction, however, as you can see, looks really great. So that's the new Loctite we put in there, resealed it, also did the whole top part here. Made sure everything was not leaking. After that, we inspected the pump, and here's the original pump for you right here from 2017, which is not bad, but when you have that much scale, it's actually detrimental to a pump, especially a vibratory pump that can't handle a lot of pressure. And so we replaced that also. We was going to do a lot of other work, but we had to take a lot of it off just due to the customer not wanting to have to work. And just because of that, I just want to kind of mention a few keynotes that I had saved just to remind you of how this machine's kind of looking health-wise. Your steam boiler. After I took that junction off, since it's completely connected to the steam boiler, I actually was able to peek inside. I wish I was able to take a photo, but it's actually a really hard angle to take a photo. But I was able to look inside with a flashlight, and the inside of your boiler is looking pretty bad. Full of scale, kind of like how the junction was. Your heating element is completely surrounded with scale. So a few things you might notice is this might heat up. The heat up time might take a little longer. The more and more this thing starts building up scale. And at some point your heating element's just going to give out. The issue with that is trying to descale a heating element like that. If you're not cautious and you're not taking it slow with a low amount of citric acid and spending a lot of hours descaling it, you might break your heating element, which means you would have to replace it completely. And it's a tedious job, kind of expensive job too, and so I would be very cautious. And also, now that we put the new pump in and fixed that issue with the descale or the scale on the outside of the machine, your machine works definitely better, but you could tell there's a few clogs here and there. This machine, they did not cheap out on piping. It's a lot of copper pipes, which is really good, what you want in an Italian machine or in any espresso machine. But the issue with that is when you don't descale like the previous owner have not descaled, you start clogging a lot of places. A lot of solenoid valves in there, which is again good for a machine. However, if you don't descale it, it would be detrimental. And so you might see a little bit of issues arising in sometimes clicking a button, and it has a little bit hard time pushing water. That's usually because solenoid valves, you can actually hear the solenoid valve when we start to brew kick on and release all the water, but sometimes it might not release all the water because there's just so much scale in the machine, which is why we're wanting to do a complete tune-up on the machine. But of course, everything's optional, and so all we did was fixing that outer junction that was full of scale, and then replace the pump. And so we're going to test the machine. We're going to brew a shot. Put this portafilter in here, put the cups at the bottom. Don't worry if this runs a little too fast or a little too slow. We don't calibrate any of our grinders to the machines that we work on. We just put coffee in there and let it run. As you can hear that pump rev up. And yeah, got a little bit of coffee pouring out there. There you go. As you can see, if you had your grinder completely calibrated correctly, you can make really good shots on this machine. And most heat exchangers, they're really great machines for the budget. The reason being is that you can brew while steaming, so it does act like a dual boiler. It isn't a dual boiler, but it does act like one. So as you can see, I'm brewing, but I can also steam my milk at the same time, which is really good. And so yeah, there's the 2 coffees for you. And I'm just gonna take this out. And just to show kind of how the flow is looking on the group head, we're just going to run the double shot. Now the first few seconds is usually what they call pre-infusion. Then you heard that solenoid valve kick on, and then you get a bunch of water. And you might see splattering going around, but that's because there's coffee inside of the group head. And how you would fix that is just taking the shower screen off and cleaning in there, maybe replacing the gasket and also replacing the shower screen because it tends to get clogged. And just making sure you're back flushing this machine often. But as you can see, you've got one perfect steady stream going down the middle. And that's just all the water accumulating to the middle after you're done. And as you can see, there's issues with clogging. 100% the scale and the solenoid valve's fault. It's because you just definitely need to descale, and you just need to clean up all the pipes that are running the water from your pump to the group head. And yeah, that's about it for this repair. If you like this video or any of our other videos on our channel, leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thanks for watching.